Well, we had very interesting, inspiring 3 days with a lot of new ideas. And it was the first time that we did this event online in this great studio at the Messe Wien, and we will now talk about conclusions. And I welcome now Ulrike Rauch-Keschmann, head of the section in the Ministry for Tourism. Good evening, we can say, and Florian Größwang, head of partner management at the Austrian National Tourist Office. Well, together we will talk about the conclusions, but I would like to start with you, Mrs. Rauch-Keschmann, and we will talk about this day of opening. And I think a lot is happening in the city. We were at Hotel Sacher, at Coffee House Landmann. Everybody is happy. What are your personal expectations about this opening? I'm very glad to be here at the end of the Tourism Days and at the beginning of a new phase for Austrian tourism. And I was present already at the panel discussion yesterday, and we felt, of course, the joy of hotel owners in Vorarlberg. I was not outside a lot, but I got a lot of pictures, of photos, and telephone calls. We have the feeling, yes, we are starting. Of course, it is a little bit slower because the epidemiological situation does not allow to get rid of all restrictive measures, but we are on a good way. And I think the joy of employees, the joy of offices and enterprises who are allowed to open. It's an unbelievably long time, 6 months. Well, I think a lot of us worked. For us, maybe the time passed quickly, but for employees who could not work, they were so happy to welcome guests today, and you felt this. And so let's hope that we can take this optimism. Let's hope that the figures, the infection figures will decrease, the vaccination figures will increase, and now I think we have to cope with challenges during the next weeks. We know the safety concepts are a challenge, especially in small businesses, but I think when the situation is continuing like this, we can do more opening steps starting with June, and then I think normal life can really come back. So a lot of positive vibes, which we also wanted to spread during these Austrian Tourism Days. And well, the time is real right. Why it is important to organize an event, even if it is online? And what are the aspects which are very important? Well, I also think, well, you could not plan it like this, and that the opening happened on the 19th May, and this is the last day of the Austrian Tourism Days, could not be planned, of course. And I think the organization of an event like that was very difficult. Do we have to postpone? Will it be a hybrid event? And so really, I want to thank all the teams who worked behind the wings. We have seen during the last months that a lot is possible in a digital way and online. And I think this has changed, of course, the labor world. There were also positive aspects, and we have also seen in tourism that we can use already well-working networks. And it worked good during the last months because we had already a certain base. Keeping contact was important, but I feel that people want to meet people physically. Virtual platforms are important, but it is also important to see each other, to meet each other, to have a personal exchange between the business, which is now already developing quite well. That's what Florian told me. Well, you can even conclude a business virtually, but still it is important to see each other in person from time to time, and just to, to establish new contacts, which you can use in difficult times. And then it's also important to offer an event like this in order to keep contacts, but then have a personal meeting. Florian, let's look back. We had panel discussions, we had impulses, we had lectures, we could establish new contacts, as it has been said by Mrs. Rauch-Keschmann. What is your personal conclusion? Well, at the end of this Austrian Tourism Days, we have the real first mistake of the program, because in our program it says closing, and it's not a closing, but it's an opening. Here we see it already, and during the last 3 days of the Austrian Tourism Days, we have opened the door to the world, and now also in Austria, as it has been mentioned already. Well, all our business, our restaurants, our hotels, our leisure organizations, everything has opened. And it's not so easy to say what are the conclusions. The last 3 days were overwhelming, also for myself. And they make us confident. They give us strength that together we can just try new roads and we can be successful in the future. The Austrian Tourism Days and the ATB 2021, with participants from 41 different countries, was an international benchmark for Austria. It was a milestone also for virtual tourism conferences. The Austrian Tourism Days were an inspiration for many participants who even wrote this to us. And on one side, well, they just have shown that holidays in Austria are very nice, and also innovative projects and big issues were discussed, and also the big drivers, for example, the digital transition, with which we have to deal during the next years. But we also got a lot of information. We got orientation about safe hospitality in Austria and what measures we have to do in Austria as passionate hosts for our guests. And I think Manuel Bitschner has mentioned from Vorarlberg Montafon had said very well in a panel talk, every guest is a special present for us. Well, the Austrian Tourism Days were also very interactive, and it was important for us when preparing these days. Well, we saw that we received hundreds of questions in the e-campus, and 1,000 networking discussions will still be analyzed between Austrian exhibitors and national and international business partners and travel agents.
We were able to continue our contacts to partners all over the world, but we were able to win new partners for the business of tomorrow, and we were able to do this. I would also like to take the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to all participants of the Austrian Tourism Days. Thank you for your time and for your motivation and engagement. Thanks to all those who presented and took part in the panels. And thanks for all around the globe who made it possible to organize this event. Thank you to the partners. I would like to say thank you to Steiner Live, Christian Steiner, Skuppels-Kuhn, Michael Seeler, and Mario Tschirf. And of course, I would also like to thank you for the great facilitation. Thank you to the CEO of the Austrian National Tourist Office, Petra Störber. Thanks to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Regions and Tourism, and the Austrian Economic Chamber for their trust, because trust is necessary to implement such a great event. Thank you. So there is a lot of appraisal also from the international audience. There couldn't be a better advertisement or promotion of Austrian tourism. Yes, Austria is one of the top vacation countries, and Anto is one of the top tourism organization worldwide, and it has shown what it can do with this event. There were so many target groups. There were so many exciting presentations and talks. Now, at the moment of the reopening and bringing on board also the international travel agencies and agents, I think contacts and all those innovative formats have become so important. They show Austria is here, it's present, you can count on Austria. Now, I can ask where the travel will go, and I know who I can rely on. And we are very proud of you and of Austria. We are proud of all those who took part in this event. Worldwide, you said there's been a lot of feedback, also very personal feedback. Yes, as I said before, there was a huge interest and a very positive feedback. Maybe a few numbers which I just got from the communication center at 15 o'clock. Why 15 o'clock? We will continue till 10 p.m. We will continue our talks, connection talks with American purchasers. We have had more than 3,000 visitors from 41 different countries who participated in lots of sessions and visited more than 30,000 pages. More than 3,100 confirmed appointments with a very high average evaluation, so 4 to 6 stars from the Austrian clients and also from international purchasers. Some statements from all of the world. Zum Beispiel Binay, a travel consultant from India, who thanks for the informative discussions. And he was here and watched the program every minute. And a client from Austria, my first ATB appointments today. Max from Germany, very good, very useful. Or from Japan, a client. It's great to get to know Austria and receive so much information about Austria. So this is about information, inspiration, but also sales. These Austrian Tourism Days 2021 seem to have been a great success, and you are still continuing working at the ATB. What do you wish for the future, for the industry? There's so much optimism, and I think we need to take this optimism forward. And when the crisis has shown us something, then it is the great significance of tourism worldwide, but especially for Austria. And this significance has become very clear now. Also the effects and all of those who are directly or indirectly affected by tourism. And we have discussed this a lot. It is very important to find qualified personnel, qualified staff who is ready to work in this field with a lot of passion and who are able to fulfill the demands and meet the demands of the visitors. And we from the ministry need to set the course so we can make use of the learnings of this crisis. And when taking stock of those 3 days, I can say it is so important to cooperate, to communicate, to exchange. And we need now to set the course and take all the energy, the momentum, make use of the momentum, and then I'm sure that Austria will be again one of the top destinations of the world. This is also why we showed those people who, with their encouraging ideas. Now, what will be next? The door is open. We are prepared also as responsible hosts. We look into the future with a lot of optimism, and we look forward to be able to welcome our visitors again in Austria. We look forward to the physical contact with them again. We look forward to a great summer in Austria. I am convinced it is going to be a great summer. Thank you very much for this talk, for being here again at the end of those 3 days. We spent 8 hours per day here in this great studio. Thanks to the audience. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us. I hope you will be able to take home lots of learnings, informations, and impulses from these days, and you will have the opportunity to watch our programs on demand. And you can also pass this on to the world in order to promote Austrian tourism. Wishing you a good restart. Hope everything will go well. Thanks for joining us again. Have a nice evening and auf Wiedersehen in Austria.